Hi all, welcome to my channel where we discuss true inner peace and how to be the best version of yourself. All right, so if you followed me on TikTok at all, I'm creating little short videos on how to manage anxiety. Here, I would absolutely love to do the same thing. However, I want to talk about self-esteem first. One, because that's what I mentioned in my previous video that I do. And two, because low self-esteem almost always leads to anxiety and people feeling anxious. And if you really think about that, I bet you can find places in your life to find that to be very true yourself. So I'm really glad that people are finally talking about affirmations online. We're telling each other to speak to each other with kindness and compassion and speak to ourselves in that same way. What I'm not stoked about is the reactions that it's getting. A lot of people, predominantly women, feel like looking at themselves in the mirror and telling themselves that they're beautiful is conceited and arrogant and it's not being humble. All right, I get that, but listen, when you look at your children or your grandma or your parents or your significant other and you tell them, you are beautiful, you are handsome, I just love the way you look, I love you. That is not considered arrogant or conceited because it's coming from a genuine place of love. You have to apply that same thing to yourself. When you're telling yourself that you're beautiful, it needs to come from a deep-seated place of compassion and love. It's not conceited because you're not trying to prove it to anyone else. You're not trying to throw your beauty in anybody's face. You're literally trying to rewire your subconscious mind to stop being so hard on yourself. That is it. So look, with that being said, affirmations can and will reprogram your subconscious mind. We are naturally wired to be negative in an effort to protect ourselves. But really being negative kind of holds you back from being vulnerable and taking risks and enhancing your lifestyle. It keeps you from doing things that you genuinely want to do in life because you are your own worst critic. So in my first video, we talked about habits, and while creating new ones is ultimately going to give you the inner peace that we're all seeking because we all want to be happy, right? All that means is we need to create some newer, healthier habits to replace the ones that were put in our subconscious mind when we were little children. I mentioned that more in my last video, by the way. If you need to go back and look at that, I highly suggest you do. But anyways, affirmations create new neural pathways to change your brain's chemistry. Instead of your anxiety creating epinephrine and cortisol, which are inflammatory and don't feel so good in the body over long term, you want to start creating happy things like dopamine. Literally, affirmations can light up places in your mind that have been dormant for a very long time. And you can actually see this with brainwaves. There's been actual studies on this. These genuinely are areas that are lighting up almost, it's beautiful, almost looks like lightning. So how I started with my affirmations, it was kind of weird. I wasn't comfortable my first couple days, and you probably won't be either because this is so foreign. And remember, your brain has a habit of being negative. So now that you're saying positive things, it's not going to be as accepting. So I started off small by saying things like, yeah, I am beautiful, I'm a good person, I am happy, I am healthy. But as time went by, I noticed I was able to speak to myself with a little more deep compassion than that. I was able to look at myself in the mirror and be like, I am completely capable of enjoying every experience life has to offer. I love my ability to make people laugh. And I started saying things that were really meaningful. And this genuinely helped curb my anxiety and make me feel better. It just kind of started my day off right. So I do have a habit of this now. While I'm getting ready, since I'm already looking at myself in the mirror, I will turn on some of my favorite affirmation videos, or I'll just say a couple to myself. And I'll do this for about 20 to 30 minutes every single day. Because again, I'm trying to create a positive habit of speaking to myself with compassion so that I can also speak to others with compassion. So for men, these affirmations might look something like this. Okay, so you have your favorite boxer or fighter or your favorite football player, right? And you look at that man and you're like, he's so strong. He's just a great guy. He's this, he's that, X, Y, Z. So if you can have that type of compassion and look at somebody else like that, I encourage you to do the same for yourself. For women, this one's kind of funny because I asked a couple of women, what do you want your partner to say to you? Like what could they say to you that would make you feel good? And it's all about how they perceive them. So it's like, you are beautiful. You are such a good mother. You are so this and so that. And I was like, okay, so you expect somebody else to say those things to you, but you don't even say them to yourself, let alone believe them. Girl, you gotta love yourself first. So that's what the affirmations might look like based on gender. But of course, there's affirmations for money and business and finance and all sorts of other things out there. So do some research online, find some videos that you like. I will link a couple of mine below. But this way, you actually get some inspiration and some encouragement where you're not just looking at yourself in the mirror and trying to come up with things. You have a little bit of guidance. All right, so that's pretty much it for affirmations. I really just want you to start creating a new habit of speaking to yourself kindly, because this world is so cruel sometimes, and the worst thing you can do is be cruel to yourself. So I hope that something I've said in this video inspires you to try these affirmations, because remember, when you make yourself a better person, you help make the world a better place, because you are part of this world. And that, my friends, is true peace. Enjoy. Good luck.